Just say, years and years ago, I worked for Mr. Volcker at the New York Fed. I think it was the third job I had. I was an executive assistant. I used to do his Conference of Presidents work. I used to help draft speeches. He is kind of a grizzly, prickly guy, but he's a man of great wisdom, and he's probably the best central banker of our lifetime. Don Luskin, what just happened here with Maria? How do you read this story?
Well, look. Obviously, Paul Volcker is Dr. Tough Love. He did what he had to do in the late 70s and the early 80s to put the screws on the economy, pay whatever price it was necessary to get double-digit inflation to go away, and he did that. But clearly, the Obama administration is not about tough love. It's about stimulus and about handouts and bailouts and regulatory forbearance. And the best Paul Volcker can do is give the Obama administration a veneer of elder statesman credibility. And probably, knowing his deep integrity, the only way he can bring himself to do that is just to kind of show up for a few minutes at a time and keep his mouth shut.
Well, maybe he shouldn't show up. You know, a good Financial Times editorial, and I am going to agree with Nouriel Roubini, who wrote this. He says, we have the mother of all dollar carry trades. He says it's creating an asset bubble in risky assets. People are borrowing the dollar because it's zero interest rates, and they're going out to buy stocks and corporate bonds and other media. A lot of it is foreign. What do you make of that? Will the Federal Reserve defend the dollar and end the zero interest rate regime, Don Luskin?
Look, everything that Roubini is saying is true, and everything that he's saying is true is exactly what the Fed intends. Those aren't unintended consequences. That's the program. Go back to Ben Bernanke's speech in 2002 where he talked about helicopter drops of money. This is exactly what he said he'd do with the Fed funds rate at the zero bound. He said there would be a promise to keep it at zero for an extended period, that promise of the longevity of the low rate would allow investors to borrow with confidence short-term, lend with confidence long-term, and that would be maintained for an extended period. That is how the Fed stimulates the economy at the zero bound. It's textbook stuff. Ben Bernanke wrote it. Nouriel Roubini is not analyzing. He's simply reporting. Be glad it's working.
Well, be glad it's working, Maria.
Hey, Larry, can I